Hello, my name is Chloe Newton. My NSU ID number is N01961436, and I will be applying to the entry-level doctorate of occupational therapy program at Nova Southeastern University in Tampa, Florida. This is my video essay, and I hope you guys enjoy. So the first question provided to me is, why do you want to become an occupational therapist? How did you first become aware of or interested in OT? So occupational therapy has always hovered at the top of my list of things that I would love to achieve in life, just because of the meaningful impact it has on the patients that need it. When you think about occupations, those comprise every single part of our daily lives, every facet of our daily activities, from waking up in the morning to stepping out of bed, brushing our teeth, opening our door, driving a car, walking a dog, whatever it may be, occupations are integral to our lives. So if something detrimental happens, what are you going to do with your daily activities? And that's when an occupational therapist comes into play, so that anybody who has an injury can thus live their lives again and perform to the best of their ability the meaningful activities that are important to them. Occupational therapy was first introduced to me in high school. I volunteered at a prom at an inclusive academy for students with cerebral palsy. And I remember how amazing it was, the occupational therapists at this prom. They would pick up the students and bring them to the dance floor and help the students dance with one another because they were immobilized otherwise and couldn't do it on their own. And that act of selflessness that I saw in the occupational therapists, it made me so intrigued in the field, and that's what sparked my interest, and I've fallen in love with it ever since. All of my observations of OT, it's been the same way. I've seen that compassionate drive that each therapist holds, and I believe it lines up with my personality and with my own personal goals of what I would love to do with my life and my career. So the second question provided to me is, in your view, how is occupational therapy different from physical therapy? So this is the question of the century. I believe that it's not so much the process, but the outcome that differentiates the two fields. So physical therapy is definitely focused on improving movement and function within patients, and occupational therapy is definitely the same. We want to improve movement and function among patients, but we also look at the patient as a whole. So what is meaningful to that patient? What are their own individual activities of daily living? Occupational therapists are definitely more holistic in their care. They strive to achieve, maintain, or improve function among patients so that they can get back to these meaningful activities. The third question here is, why do you want to get a doctoral degree when the current entry-level requirement is a master's degree? So I believe that obtaining a doctoral degree would definitely give me more practice, more knowledge of the field, which will help me to give better care to my prospective patients. Having a doctorate degree will open more doors and more opportunities for myself and my own personal goals, which include becoming a teacher someday, a professor within a university. That's always something I've been very passionate about, is teaching others something that I love and helping others see something from a perspective that I may be able to show them. Also, obtaining a doctorate degree in occupational therapy will give me more time to focus on clinical-based practice. I will achieve more research opportunities, and my fieldwork experience will become more dense. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? How do you see the NSU OTD program as helping you achieve these goals? So I've always pictured myself working in outpatient care, possibly a rehabilitation clinic where I can specialize in something. I spent time shadowing a hand therapist, and I really enjoyed that biomechanical aspect of occupational therapy, but I've also shadowed in pediatric occupational therapy. I'm very interested in working in a neuro unit. I know I still have a lot of opportunities that are to be presented to me where I can figure out just where I feel comfortable and where I feel my heart lies and where my passion can thrive within occupational therapy. But I would love to specialize in something along the outpatient care route. I am also very interested in becoming an educator within the field, using my clinical using my clinical expertise to teach students and to help in their aspirations of becoming occupational therapists is something that I'm very passionate about doing. I absolutely love teaching others. I've spent time tutoring students that I know, my peers. I've spent time teaching track and field, dance, all of my different passions and things that I enjoy doing, all my hobbies. What do you know about the NSU Tampa entry-level doctorate program? What are your reasons for wanting to attend this program versus other programs? Something that really stuck out to me when I was reading through the various brochures and the website for NSU's OTD program was the many opportunities that are given and the many contexts that the program spans. In particular, I really enjoyed reading about leadership within the program, how that's a very integral part of what you guys hope to give your students. I believe that being a leader within the healthcare field is very, very important. And being a competent leader means acquiring the skills necessary through studies and through clinical experience. And I know I will be able to obtain these skills necessary through NSU's program. I am also interested in the blended nature of this program, the distant and face-to-face learning. This will give me an opportunity to thrive in other areas of my home life, other things that I'm interested in. And this is not something that all programs offer, so I was very interested in that. And also obtaining an entry-level doctorate degree will hasten my ability to enter the workforce sooner after becoming a college graduate. And that is something that I saw in the brochure. So you guys have a fast entering the job force guarantee. Please describe your experiences with online learning. What do you think it takes to be successful when attending online classes? So I took my first online course in high school to prepare for the many online courses that I would be taking in college, and I am confident to say that my ability in taking online courses is superb. I have taken many over the years. I know how to navigate many different technologies, many websites. I know how to schedule my time correctly so that I can get things done in an efficient and in an efficient manner. And I am skilled at time management and self-discipline now because of my attendance to online courses. And this leads into the next question. What does the phrase taking responsibility for your own learning mean to you? This means that you have to take your learning by the horns. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You do it by yourself and only yourself. Learning is a privilege that we must use to our full advantage. Learning requires an exceptional amount of drive and focus, and nobody's going to give that to you. Nobody's going to go into your grade book and scribble in a little A for you. It's all done by ourselves, and we need to want to do good in our studies. We need to want to succeed and to perform at the best of our abilities, and learning has always been a priority to me. And I've always been keen to scheduling out my own schedules in life, whether that be work, leisure, or school. School is always a top priority for me, and I've always been able to see just what knowledge can do for me and what doors it can open for myself. Describe why cultural diversity and subsequently cultural competence is an important consideration in the field of occupational therapy. So, respecting somebody else's culture can be very critical in determining a healthy and trustworthy patient-provider relationship. It is important to have good knowledge of other people's cultural values, to understand what to do in the event of a language barrier. Understanding cultural diversity and having that competence involves a creative mindset. It involves really good on-the-spot knowledge, which way to turn in a difficult situation, a difficult scenario. We definitely cannot be closed-minded when we deal with individuals who have different backgrounds than ourselves. We have to make them feel trusted and respected in our clinic or whatever setting we may be in. And in this way, we can then gain their own respect. And if somebody comes from a different cultural background, for example, maybe we have to change our tone of voice. Maybe we have to change our body language. Anything to make them feel comfortable is of the utmost importance. Scenario 1. After taking a very hard exam, you find out that several of your classmates got a copy of the exam ahead of time and did very well. The rest of the class failed the exam, including you. The instructor informs the class that she will not curve the exam because of the students who did so well. What would you do? So, out of my own moral values, I believe that it would only be right to inform the instructor of what occurred, to let her know that the exam was compromised by a certain amount of students, and I feel even if I was the instructor that I would want to know this information. I would not make the student that told me feel ashamed in any way. I would keep it anonymous, but I do believe that in this situation, cheating is not something that should be taken lightly, and I don't think it's anything that students should ever attempt to do. Breaking honor codes is not worth it. It's not worth your future and what you're capable of doing on your own and as a dedicated, trustworthy student. Scenario 2. You are working in an outpatient clinic and a client of yours who has had hand surgery is not making good progress. Her surgeon has a poor reputation in the clinic. One day the client says to you, "I don't feel I am getting better. Was my surgeon any good?" What do you consider in attempting to resolve this ethical dilemma, and what would you say or do? So in this type of situation, it's important to remember not to disclose any kind of information that is opinionated about any other healthcare professionals, any other clients, just because of certain policies and privacy reasons. So I would definitely avoid commenting on what her surgeon did or didn't do wrong. I would try to steer the conversation away into focusing on her actual progress and what can we do to make you feel better and to make you feel like you are making progress post-operation. What are some other things that we can look into, some other reasons why you feel you might not be getting any better. I would not want to make it seem like the situation is pinned solely on the surgeon, because that might not even be the case. So yeah, it's just important in these situations to reassure the patient that, it could be something else. And in this particular situation, the surgeon is trained, so we could remind her, you did have a trained surgeon, and that might help her feel better in her own situation. Describe your strengths and identify areas in which you need to grow. So I think that a strength most worthy of noting is that I am a driven individual. Whether that be in my studies, in my work, or in my personal life, once I set my mind to a task, I do anything that I can to efficiently and thoroughly complete it. Being driven means that you work for things without an external reward. You work for something that you're passionate about, and you're influenced by something greater than what you're actually doing. And for me, with occupational therapy, that means getting all of my undergraduate classwork completed. That means making the right connections, and it means envisioning a future where you can truly see yourself making a difference in society and among your prospective patients. And I think that drive will carry into my graduate school studies and into the workforce when I eventually become a licensed professional. An area that I would like to grow more in is having a low tolerance for poor work ethic. And what I mean by this is whenever I work in a group setting, if other members tend not to do all of their work, I usually pick up on their slack. And this is a distraction from doing what I need to do and from completing my own individual tasks. And something I've done to counter this issue is to just be honest with people and to speak up for something that I believe in, really talk about something that I stand for. And I've learned that people are more willing to compromise or comply with you after you've had a reasonable conversation. And and this way my own strong work ethic will be enhanced and not taken advantage of. All right, so the last question offered to me today is that there are a number of applicants waiting to be interviewed. Why should we take you? So I feel confident in my ability to become a committed and well-rounded addition to this year's entering class of students. I hope to bring new skills and ideas to NSU's OTD program as I possess a creative mindset, and I plan to use my own interpersonal skills to create meaningful relationships among esteemed peers and potential colleagues. I will always be enthusiastic about my work, and I strive to enforce positivity to any group I surround myself with. I am truly passionate about occupational therapy and everything it has to offer, from myself to my prospective patients, and I am ready to obtain the skills necessary of becoming a distinguished professional within the field. Thank you very much for your time today. I really hope you guys enjoyed my video essay.